Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, November 21. Jamaica and China have struck a partnership which will see to the construction of more schools and an uptick in technology training on the island. The Memorandum of Understanding was one of 7 agreements reached during Prime Minister Andrew Holness's recent 7-day official working visit to the People's Republic of China.
Through our partnership, the government will be focusing on technology training and building out more school infrastructure. Later this month, the Vice Minister of Education for China, Ms. Weng Tihu, will pay a working visit to Jamaica to sign an MOU in the field of education and to exchange views on strategies needed to prepare our societies for the future of work.
In an update to the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Prime Minister Holness said the MOUs were part of a new cooperation framework agreement under China's Belt and Road Initiative. He said greater efforts would be focused on increasing exports to the Chinese market to include live and frozen lobster and certain delicacies such as jackfruit seeds. On the investment side, Mr. Holness said government would not be negotiating any new loan agreements with China. Instead, future projects would either be joint ventures, public-private partnerships, or private sector transactions between Jamaican and Chinese firms. Jamaica and China also reached agreements in the fields of sport and culture and discussed future arrangements in airlift services and climate change. Parliament has passed legislation to merge the functions of the Heart Trust NTA with the National Youth Service NYS, the Apprenticeship Board, and the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning JFLL. The Human Employment and Resource Training Amendment Act 2019 was approved by the House of Representatives on Tuesday. It will now be sent to the Senate for its approval. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the merger will create an institution that will refocus all of government's training resources into one agency.
There is synergy from the merger of the corporate services of the 4 entities that are there, and that synergy would lead to better management of the treasury of the trust. And it will lead to greater synchronization and coordination of the allied services.
Jamaica is moving closer to achieving full compliance with global standards aimed at fighting money laundering and terrorism financing in our financial system. This follows the passage of 2 related regulations in the Senate recently. They are the Proceeds of Crime, Money Laundering Prevention Amendment Regulations, Resolution, and the Terrorism Prevention Designated Reporting Entity Attorney at Law Order, Resolution 2019. Both were piloted by Leader of Government Business in the Upper House, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith. She pointed out that the regulations seek to make Jamaica fully compliant with recommendations from the Financial Action Task Force's Mutual Evaluation Report, which was issued in January 2017. The report contained findings, priority actions, and a list of 40 recommended actions, 21 of which Jamaica is partially compliant with.
The regulations before us today will take us down the road of essentially eliminating our partially compliant status, or rather the elements which are partially compliant. These are technical compliance deficiencies, Mr. President, which must be addressed with urgency, and they must reflect a clear commitment to address our anti-money laundering deficiencies.
Over 2,000 acres of farmland on the Holland estate in St. Elizabeth have been purposed to grow produce for the parish's revitalized school breakfast program. The initiative will be piloted at Holland Primary School and subsequently introduced to other institutions. The breakfast program will also include the provision of nutritious juices made from locally grown fruits. Minister without portfolio in the Agriculture Ministry, J.C. Hutchinson, made the announcement last Friday during an Eat Jamaican school tour at Holland Primary.
So today it's to educate the students here and the wider community to say we are going to be assisting in providing local food within the schools for the children. We have seen the benefit. It has been proven here that it helps the children in their attendance and also help them in their grades.
The tour was one of several activities to mark November as Eat Jamaican Month. The Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, says it will be removing in excess of 70,000 dead electorates from the voters list this year, with a target of 200,000 by November 2020. This was declared by Director General Glaspell Brown while speaking on JIS's Get the Facts program recently. He said Phase 1 of the removal exercise, which was the verification process, was completed in April this year, and the office was in the confirmation phase. According to Mr. Brown, both processes have to be carefully done so as not to remove anyone who is alive from the list.
And the confirmation phase includes getting the burial order, the death certificate, a program, etc. Or some information from somebody who is in the know that the person has died.
Yes.
After we are satisfied that the person have actually died, then we go to the process of removing them from the list.
The next voters list will be published on November 30. And finally, Friday, November 29 is the deadline for persons to submit applications for the Child Protection and Family Services Agency's annual Take a Child Home for the Holiday initiative. The program provides an opportunity for families to open their homes to wards of the state aged 3 to 18 years old during the festive season. Persons who qualify for the program have the option of hosting a child for a day or the duration of the holiday period. Interested persons must fill out an application form. They are also required to provide 2 references from a notary public, such as a police officer, a justice of the peace, or a school principal, submit 2 passport-sized photographs, a valid identification card, and must be 25 years or older. For more information, interested persons may visit any of the CPFSA's regional offices across the island, telephone the head office at 876-948-2841-2, or email info@childprotection.gov.jm. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.